High school was easy. That summer job, it was easy. Being a kid, easy. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, you don't have anyone telling you what to do. You don't have anyone telling you what to wear, where to go. And look, for most people, they're never going to have a say in their routine entirely. They're always going to have a boss or a job holding them to a certain routine. But as an entrepreneur, nobody is there to tell you when to be at work, how to do the work, how to handle the people in your business. As an entrepreneur, you have a lot of freedom, and this can be a very good thing or it can be a really bad thing. Entrepreneurship is kind of like this canvas, and we get to say, these are the things that we need to do to get to success. And it doesn't matter when we do them, but we have to do them, and we have to make sure that we figure that out for ourselves. And this is our end result. So we have to do these things over here to actually get to this end result. And we have to look at what our income producing activities are, or IPAs. I'm going to be making a list of these and actually putting them in the description down here for you guys. So go ahead and check out my list of IPAs. But these are a good start. They're going to help you start figuring out, what are some income producing activities and what aren't income producing activities. As I said, the link will be in the description. So now you start to kind of see which activities you need to be doing to push your business forward, right? But it's not as easy as knowing them and writing them down. You actually have to go out and perform them. So I'm going to be hopping in my computer here in a minute, and I'm going to show you guys how I schedule out my days and how I remove friction from the day to make sure that I'm actually able to get things done without decision fatigue. You see, your brain can only make so many decisions in a day, so it's best to plan ahead, get everything set for yourself, try to limit as many decisions as possible. And one way that we can do this is by kind of what I call laying out the day. I basically set everything up for my routine. So I get my bag ready for heading to the gym. I get my clothes ready. I get the meditation that I'm going to be doing ready. Everything is laid out where it needs to be, ready to go, so that the next day I'm going to win. It's inevitable. Because guys, this is a simple game, and if you stick to it long enough, you are going to be victorious. You are going to be the winner, but you have to figure out the actions you need to take, your IPAs, the things that are going to move your goals forward. And then on the other hand, you just need to go out and achieve them every single day. And this just takes focus. It takes removing friction, removing decisions so that you're actually effective and you actually get these things done, and putting yourself in an environment where you can actually work and get things handled, get things figured out. So let's hop into my computer back here, and I'm going to show you guys how I schedule my days.
Alright guys, so as you can see, this is my Trello mission mapping board. And the way Trello works is it's set up in different boards. So when you make an account, it'll look something like this when you join. And you can just click this little button up here, this little plus sign, to actually create a new board. Let me show you the two boards that you need to be victorious during the day and actually start making things happen. So first of all is the mission mapping. And in the mission mapping, we have a few different lists because each of these are called lists, right? We have the ideas and reminders list. This list is set up so that if anytime during the week I have an idea, but I don't have time to capitalize on it right there and then, I just throw it in the ideas and reminders list, and then I come back and review it later. The next thing that we have is the complete list. I like to keep a list of things that I've completed, and as you can see, this is a pretty long list, and it's nice to be able to see your progress. I found that having this complete list is really good because you can look back on what you did, and it kind of reminds you how you did certain things as well. And then these are the most important lists of them all: the macro goals, the micro goals, and this week's objectives. So the macro goals are your big visions, like your long haul type goals, maybe your year to 6 month type goals, okay? And every year or 6 months, you're going to want to be reassessing these goals and making sure that you're reaching them, okay? So these macro goals are broken into financial, educational, health, relationships, and then I just have one for a giveaway or being kind of charitable, I suppose. So these macro goals are kind of your, your big vision goals for the next 6 months to a year. All right. Micro goals are going a bit more in depth, maybe a little bit more down to the month or 60 days, 30 to 60 day type goals. Okay. And these are going to be goals that are going to help you reach your macro goals. So when you're looking at your macro goals, you always want to reverse engineer it, look at how you can actually start achieving those goals on a monthly basis. And then this last list here is the week's objectives, okay? And I've broken it into deep focus objectives, outreach objectives, client work objectives, and learning objectives. The deep focus is what I call working in my business or working on my business. Sorry, excuse me on that. So working on my business, actually engineering the things that make it move, right? Engineering the things that are going to basically systemize my business. Outreach is, looking for new clients. So if you are at a point where, you want to grow, you always want to be doing outreach. And then client work. This is the working in my business. The deep focus is working on my business, building the machine, systemizing. But the client work is working in my business and being the actual technician and going in and actually doing everything for the clients, okay? So I have client work objectives, and then I have learning objectives. So these things are very helpful to break these categories down because you don't want to confuse working on your business with working in your business. That's a big distinction you have to make here in the week's objectives. And if you click into here, you can actually make checklists within here. So these are the 5 things that I want to do this week. And every day I do 4 hours of deep focus. So this is my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. And I always plan that out on the weekends. Okay, so once you've created this, once you've started with your macro goals, then you've created micro goals, and then you've created weekly objectives based on that, you're going to create a new board. And as I said, you're just going to go back in here, click this little plus icon here, and you're going to create a new board. And this one is going to be your weekly battle plan, okay? So I have the weekend in here right now. This is basically today. So I'm actually filming and editing these YouTube videos today, but this is my week that I have coming up. I always write in my workouts, so there's no question behind what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing on these days. And then the next thing that I do is my deep work, the work on my business, the work to really start building something that's going to be a big system, that's going to be, something that I can actually leave sitting and automate it, okay? And I've also got some Instagram content ideas in here for each day that I'm going to be doing during my lunch break. And then it goes into client work. So we really start getting into the nitty gritty and working on what I need to do for my clients. And this is basically what's going to bring in income in. It's what's going to make me money. But this stuff up here is more of the strategizing and the system building. So it's important to make a distinction between the two because they both need to happen in order for your business to be successful. Okay, so client work, client work, client work. If you don't have client work for the 2 hours that you set aside for it a day, let's just say, which I set aside 2 hours a day because that's all I really need, then start doing some outreach, some cold calls. So as you can see here, if no work, cold call. If no work, cold call. So I hope that I finish my client work early in the week this week, but if I do, I'm just going to do more outreach. And that's the next thing is basically just do cold calls, follow-ups, things like that. Okay. So, and then the final thing you'll see here is the learning. This is the group that I'm in / course, and I'm just really taking it all in, taking notes, and I'm going to be applying the action steps because learning is very important as well. So I've got my week mapped out here. As you can see, we also have a done list so that we can put everything that we've done in here. And really, this is setting us up to win, okay? This is setting us up with a plan that's going to help us succeed. So if you want to go ahead and do this, I'm just going to show you a quick example. Just go to boards, create a new one, and we're just going to name this mission mapping. Yep, so within the mission mapping is where you're going to do the macro goals, micro goals, and weekly objectives. So you're going to put all these in, and for the macro goals, I recommend you do a few different categories. Try to balance out your life a bit. Try not to make them all financial or business related. Try to actually even it out a bit, okay? That's important. And then in your micro, you're going to start getting a bit more narrowed down to the 30 to 60 day range that is going to help you achieve your macro goals. And then the weekly objectives are basically what you're going to be doing day to day in the trenches, working on your business um, for the micro goals. Okay. And this is going to set you guys up to be champions. The next one to create is, if you go back, is the kind of like the win the day type formula, right? So that your battle plan for the week. You can actually, it's kind of cool. You can actually put different backgrounds in there and stuff, so you can distinguish them from each other. Okay, and then this one is going to be the name of the weekdays, right? So I always like to actually, before planning this stuff, plan, the self-care. So meditation, fitness, diet, that stuff should all come first. Sleep, all that stuff should come first. And your family and friends, that stuff should come first as well. That's why you're an entrepreneur, right? You are an entrepreneur so that you can put this stuff first. And that's always important, even during the week, right? So when you're doing your Monday, Tuesday, I'm not going to write them all, but you get the idea. Okay, when you're doing your week, you want to actually, I'm not saying do these things first during the day, but at least plan them out first so that you can actually have an idea of, the things you can look forward to throughout the week. Even if you look forward to working, like this stuff needs to happen as well, okay? So, you can kind of just start putting your weekly objectives here, and then once you're done with that, you're really going to have a solid plan that you can follow, and you can wake up and look at every morning, and this is going to set you guys up to win, okay? So I hope this video helped you guys out, and I hope if you did find this helpful, you go ahead and subscribe so that you can stay plugged into the positive content here on the channel. Please leave a like and also leave some feedback. I read all of the comments and I take them into deep consideration, and I really value your guys' opinion. So go ahead and leave some feedback, maybe leave some ideas for a video that you would like to see, maybe some topics that you'd like to learn more about, and I will see you guys in the future videos. Hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you soon.